So hi guys, Jack here from saveDJentertainment. I've made my way down to LED Factory to meet my good friend Avtar. Avtar, lovely
Hi.
to see you.
Good afternoon, Jack.
First of all, can you explain to us what LED Factory does? Obviously you support a lot of DJs in the industry. What sort of things is it you guys do?
Yeah, so I own and I started LED Factory back in 2010. So we just celebrated our 10th birthday. Initially, we started off with wireless lighting. It was a German company based in Cologne, and then we brought that over to the UK. So initially, I started working with them, and then they sort of took me on, and at the time we were finding it a little bit difficult to sell the equipment because it was quite expensive, and we just sort of start of a recession. So anyway, cut a long story short, we were offered to start off LED Factory in the UK. So I set up LED Factory Limited in the UK back in 2010. We initially started the company with lit centerpieces, table centerpieces. That was our prime business, and for quite a few years that we developed that into some really fancy fixtures that people have seen across most of the award ceremonies, regardless of culture or marketplace, but they were getting quite heavily featured. We then put that lighting into furniture. So we were buying PE plastic furniture, taking out all the electronics, the mains operator, and then putting battery fixtures in that. And then we just developed that further on into special effects. There's an array of special effects and services that we provide now, very much to the DJ industry, and also to venues, wedding planners, corporate event planners, film premieres. I mean, you name it, we're sort of helping out with those at the moment.
Oh, excellent. So you're a big supporter of the DJ industry, like you say. Obviously, you've done lots and lots of events. You've done lots of things for DJs. You do all the lighting for them. Because a lot of the events that you do, the DJs tend to sort of turn up as such, and then you guys are providing all the equipment around them as such, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. So from the beginning, we've always supported the DJ. We were one company where we wanted to bring the DJ out the corner into the middle of the room so everyone could see him and his wares. So yeah, we work with many DJs across up and down the country, into Europe as well, where we come in, we provide the whole setup, whether that's video screens, whether that's the sound and the lighting. It's literally everything. So the individual, the performer, if you like, the DJ, he comes, he performs, and then he goes home after his performance.
So you guys are sort of the production element to any party, event, wedding, all that sort of thing, really. You make the big visual impact as such.
Yeah, I think as you know, we're very heavily involved in the Asian market, but we're now working the Jewish market and English market as well. Yeah. But the DJ element of any party has become very big now. It's no longer that guy who's tucked away in the corner.
Yeah, I agree.
People, they're paying good money. They want to see what they're getting.
Yes.
And so, yes, it's very much about the performer, but it's also about the equipment around that person.
It's that whole package, isn't it? It's not just that, like you say, a DJ in the corner anymore. It is a whole production. So your side of the business is pretty much just enforcing that side of things and putting that production element on top of what the DJ is already doing. So it makes it, like you say, seeing what they're getting for their money sort of thing. It's a big production.
Absolutely. The DJ, obviously, he's got, if you like, we always say the DJ's got one side of the room and he's got a 20 by 20 area in front of him which he's interested in. But then who's looking after the other three walls in the venue?
Yes.
So where LED Factory fits in alongside the DJ, because we're not in competition with him, we're there to support what he does and to make him look even better than what he is, sort of thing. So we're providing decor in terms of uplighting, there's LED furniture, there's table centerpieces, there's special effects. If you're the DJ, you're playing the music, you can't be operating the dry ice machine and doing the sparkler machines. So more often than not, regardless of what people see, yes, the DJ's there, the performer, but there's many people around that person as well to make that event happen.
Exactly.
So together as a team, that's what we put across. That's what our business is, essentially.
Well, it's fantastic what you do. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff, and obviously we've done bits and pieces together before.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what you guys do. And like I say, supporting the DJ side of things is amazing what you guys do. So thank you for that. My next question would be really, how has this coronavirus affected your business so far?
Unfortunately, we're one of these companies that were hit quite hard because we work with DJs, we work with venues, we work with event planners, and we work with the customer, the end user. So our business, if you like, has been hit from a lot of angles. Certainly from the DJ front, obviously when these parties started getting cancelled, the DJ was one of the first people to be cancelled.
Yeah.
And hence we were being cancelled alongside.
Yeah.
and then the venues, for whatever reason, with the government as it is, they were saying you can't do this. And then our decor work was being pulled out as well. So yes, it's hit us hard. We had an unfortunate circumstance which you well aware of with our last landlord. We were in a storage space for, it would have been 10 years on October the 15th.
So a really loyal customer.
Loyal
That's a long time.
Paying them some serious money, but they had no sympathy for us, no nothing. We didn't get any help from them. And then through the help of a very good friend, we managed to relocate our business 5-6 miles away from where we were, and you guys helped us to put the alarm systems and everything, so we thank you for that. But what I'm saying is, even while we were on our knees, it's like we were kicked further, so we were literally on the pavement.
There was literally no support for you. It's pretty much a case of pay your money or get out of such, which is ridiculous.
And after 10 years, as I said, we've been paying them serious money. We introduced so many customers to them. They understand our business, and yet there was no help available.
You think there'd be a bit of give and take? You know, you've worked together for so long, and it's no one saw this coming. It was just an unprecedented thing that happened, and you sort of think, oh, actually, do you know what? Yeah, they've been here for a long while. We can help them out, but it was just a case of no, pay or that's it.
I think where these guys really made a big error, and I'm one of many companies. There's a lot of people like myself who also have their equipment in storage, right?
Yes.
Where these guys really slipped up was the fact that they know what our business is. They know it's seasonal. They know there's no money coming in, and because we're doing this full time as well. So we're not like weekend warriors. We're properly into this. I think despite knowing all of that, there was no help. There's credit card companies who've given their customers holidays. The mortgage companies have given their customers holidays, 3-month holiday to start off with, which is coming to an end now. But there was so much help available for other people, and yet for us and people like us, no help whatsoever.
There was nothing, which is something that Save DJ Entertainment as a campaign is trying to do. It's trying to not just say, can you help us financially, but just raise the awareness of our industry and just say, look, it's not just the guy that Friday night, 5 o'clock, he gets in his van, turns up at a venue and sets up, plays it, goes home. It's such a long string of events that actually make up that day, and they don't see that side of things, so they just think, oh, we're just paying for 5 hours of your time. Same for you guys with all the lighting and stuff. They go, oh, it's battery powered, they turn it on, they put it down, that's it. But it's not. It's the prep time, the charging time, the crew, everything. They just sometimes don't take that into account, and it's that really makes us struggle, and especially at the moment in these times, really, isn't it?
I think close friends of ours, they realise what we do. The customer sees a guy who turns up, plays music for 5 hours. What they don't see is that individual has had maybe 3 or 4 client meetings before. The planning has been in process for a year, sometimes 1.5 years, sometimes 2 years. They see this guy playing music, but they don't know his prep time. Alongside that individual, there's maybe 6 or 7 other companies involved with him or her.
Well, especially like I say with your market, it's not just a case of we're just going to turn up with this is what you get. You'll be liaising backwards and forwards with, say, the DJ, the caterers, everything like that. It's a whole team effort, and again, that sort of thing is just overlooked. They think you just turn up and it just happens, but obviously in reality, it's not like that.
It's not like that. And I think they don't realise that sometimes we're there 12, 18 hours before that party is due to start. The customer sees the glory. Any people who want to come into this industry, they see the glory. What I mean by that is they come in, having a few drinks, they say, oh, I can do that. What they don't realise, we've been there one day before, and sometimes one day after everyone has left. So it's a very difficult industry we work in. It looks nice, it looks all glamorous, but we know behind the scenes what happens.
There's a lot of work that goes into it that nobody usually sees, sort of thing.
And I think now has come the time. with those people, they're not even appreciating, or people don't understand the work that's involved behind the scenes.
So it's good things like saveDJentertainment then for actually raising awareness for the industry and saying, hey, this isn't what we just do. This is this is the other side of stuff that goes actually into what we're doing. Yeah. So hopefully that's going to bring up the profile of the industry and obviously say to people, this is what we are, this is what we do. Yeah. It's a bit more than what you usually think. Do you mind me asking, have you had any sort of financial support from the government, either the local councils, anything like that, for all of the coronavirus so far?
I think one thing is for certain, and being one of the elder people in the industry, it's across the board. Mm. I'm in my mid-50s now. We see business in a different way. We've helped so many people out across the years. It's unbelievable, right? And yet when we needed help, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. We received the HMRC based on how much tax we've paid, personal tax, yeah? So we received that. There were so many grants available to other businesses and money was floating around willy-nilly. There was nothing for our industry. No recognition even.
Yeah. No
help, no grants. Then they made a grant available. The criteria on that, I don't think any company would have got through that. So we applied for that, we were turned down. And again, I think it's down to understanding. People don't understand our business. We've written to the local MP. We've spoken to quite a few councillors. We've spoken to quite a few people in authority. And yet nothing. It's like, we're providing this service. And it's not just the DJ, just the lighting company. It's the marquee companies, it's the florist, it's the caterer, it's the photographer. There's so many people involved in the whole equation, and there's no help for any of us.
Well, especially when you look back a couple of weeks ago, for example, that the 1st of August bit, when obviously that got delayed 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that was just the day beforehand, it just click your fingers, sorry, you can't have your event tomorrow.
The thing is,
crazy.
They called a halt on this event 2 or 3 o'clock that afternoon on the Friday, right? People were already on the job, so to speak. The marquee company had been there. They're nailing in those things, right? Putting the carpet down. The florist has bought the flowers, getting up 4 o'clock in the morning to get the best flowers possible. So he or she has made the flowers. The caterer has cooked their food. The DJ has done his prep. People like you and I have got crew on site. And then for this guy to just turn around and say, actually, it's not going ahead. And then, not to mention the guests. Some of these guests have travelled far. Even though there's only 30 of them, they still travel far. And then to be told while they're on the journey it's not going ahead.
Yeah, so all these plans and preparations have been put in place for these events, and all of a sudden it's just, sorry, we're going to turn the tap off again and you can't work. So those people, for example, might have come off of, or they might have taken a temporary job. I've seen a lot of people in our industry have done that just to try and get them through.
The thing is, Jack, we've had to do that, a lot of people, because we're running this business, but we got families.
Yes.
We got households. We got mortgages to pay. We got bills to pay. And by our families being at home as well, obviously the bills have increased.
Oh yes.
So there's no money coming in, and there's no financial help available. Where do they think we're pulling the money out from?
Yeah.
And how much can you spend on credit cards? We've got to pay the debt back.
Exactly. That's the same as the bounce back loan, for example.
Yep.
Bounce back loan's great, and it's really helped a lot of people.
Yep.
I know obviously some people that have been doing self-employed and they haven't been able to get that. But those that have, it's great to have, but again later on they've still got to pay that back. So it's not really solving the problem long term. It's just a case of, we'll give you this now to get you through. We appreciate that, thank you, but it's going to cause problems later on down the line.
As I said, we've all got bills to pay. So regardless of the amount you took, we took a bounce back loan, and then through our forced move, that money we took, it was finished within weeks. And there's no top up. Maybe we should have applied for more, but there was no top up.
You was just being conservative, weren't you? Going, do you know what? I don't need that. I'm going to try and help myself out later on. But when you need it, like say that's a very good example to have. That when you actually really need it now, just to say, look, we need to get through these extra couple of months because you've just stopped us for another 2 weeks, which could potentially have a knock-on effect, and it could be a couple of months now.
It could well be 6 months. And the thing is, Jack, we all have work. All of us have got work. There's no shortage of work. That work is just being put forward and forward and forward. But what about now? But what about our survival? So some friends of mine, some DJs, they've got now work starting in February, March next year. But what about these next 6 months?
They've got to try and survive between.
How are they going to survive?
Those 2
Where's the
points.
money coming from?
Exactly, and there is nothing for it to come from.
Yes.
So it's a really tough, time at the moment. Do you think that they could have done anything different so far, or anything in the future to try and help guys like yourself and I?
What I think is that some of these guys need to come out of their ivory towers and speak to people like us on ground level.
Yeah.
Firstly, to understand our business, and then just like they made the furlough funds available to other type of companies.
Yes.
They made grants available to other types of companies, and now to help the restaurants out, they've got this eat for £10 or £10 discount for the hospitality industry, the restaurant. Surely somebody should come down now to us and say, okay guys, how can we help you? Whether that's a voucher scheme, whether that's a grant scheme, but they can't expect us to live on credit cards.
No.
And to live on bounce back loans, which we then have to pay back as well.
It's just increasing debt for later on. It's not solving the problem, it's just moving the problem under the carpet for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, Jack, is these people, let's say for argument's sake, even if they opened up weddings tomorrow, you get invited to a wedding for 200 people. In all honesty, would you go?
I wouldn't know.
Would you take your kids?
No, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Even if it's just myself,
people are scared, right? And I think someone literally needs to sit down with a few of us and actually ask us what difficulties we're facing.
Yes.
And every person is different, but all our needs can be grouped together. And for us and people like us, I think the main thing now is survival.
Yes.
Up until those events come. We're going to have work. Yeah, there's no issues. There's some of these postponed weddings. Next year, there's so many midweek weddings. But yeah, that's fine. As I said, what about now? And that's where it's being hit. We're being hit hard.
What you don't want to see is companies that might, thankfully we seem to be okay at the moment, but long term we just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But you think of some companies that we've already seen, some really big names in the industry, obviously above us sort of thing, and they've got loads and loads of staff. They just simply can't afford it, so they've had to just shut the doors, and that's the end of the company. Which obviously we don't want to see that happen, because if that happens to our industry, that would have a major effect. You go and book a party and there's no DJs available, or no event suppliers.
What the government done was to us and to the customer outside, to the client, they almost gave us like a false hope, because initially many of us, and we've all spoken, we thought it's going to be for a couple of months and let the storm pass.
It was
back
short
on it,
term, wasn't it?
So
yeah.
It was in March. We thought, by April, May, we'll be back on.
Yeah.
It's August now, and that date is just keep on being put forward.
Even now, let's say 2 weeks delay. So that's now, is it the 15th, 14th, or the 15th of August is meant to be the date. But that's if that doesn't get postponed again. And obviously at the moment we still don't know if the 1st of October, the date they said that things should return back to more normality, has that also been pushed back? Yes. And will that happen again and again? Will we get a Christmas this year? It's a very big season for us. Same for you, I'm sure, as well. Yeah. August for weddings, as an example, is a really busy month and probably one of the busiest of your years. And then same for Christmas, that period in December. Yeah. Again, are we going to miss out on that? So companies that usually rely on their biggest income months are now not going to have that at all. Where do we go?
I think the other thing, when we were talking to these council and people in authority, I think the first thing they sort of don't understand is we're quite seasonal. Mm. You mentioned August. In August this year, we had 19 weddings. 31 days, 19 weddings. So you can see how busy we were, right?
Yeah.
Christmas, busy time for people like us, DJs, decor companies again. But now even December is becoming, you're a bit scared now, because you're thinking, well, if they pull Christmas, then what?
And you're probably the same as me, finding some clients going towards November and December, yes, and now having their second thoughts after that delay.
Yeah.
I know I've had a couple in the last couple of weeks that have sort of going, well, we're not sure. Yeah. To play it safe, we're now going to move. So that work that was there has now been moved to next year. Yes. Okay, if everything opens up, we might find something, but it's that customer's been booked in for a year. It's that worry of, even if we do go back, maybe that work won't be there when we go back.
See, at the moment, we're quite fortunate. Our December events, they're holding ship, yeah? August, September, October, they're gone. November, I think we got 3 events, but over Christmas, that holiday period, we got quite a few booked in.
So fingers crossed they all stick where they are.
Fingers crossed they stick where they are. But again, with so many people working from home now, is the office party a thing of the past? You know, that's another thing.
That's a very good point, to be honest.
Because if these events get pulled, then Christmas is gone. And as we all know, January, February are pretty quiet for us anyway. So then we're looking at March.
And then there's pretty much, it's been a whole year.
It's a whole year.
And we can't take a year off our businesses. It just doesn't work like that.
It's unprecedented times as we talk, but I'm confident of what we can do. You're confident of what you guys do. I'm not confident of the marketplace.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared in the sense that if this carries on, how long are we going to survive for? All of us. We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, Avtar, thank you very much for everything today. We appreciate you allowing us to come down to LED Factory
No
and
worries. Thank
have
you
a little
so
bit of
much.
a play and do your video. So thank you again, and we'll catch you again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.